Get cool stuff for what you were going to do anyway. Drink beer. With Buy Beer, Get Gear from Labatt, you can just snap a photo of your receipt and upload it to the website to rack up points for exclusive merch. Get points for every purchase, whether you're grabbing a pint on draft, a case for a party, or a tall boy at the stadium. Any size, any product, anywhere you buy Labatt. Buy beer, get gear. Sign up now at rewards.labattusa.com.
Is the Burdick Ford and Burdick Toyota pregame show.
Another game, another road win in the ACC for Syracuse men's basketball. 83-72 the final score out in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The Orange take it to the Panthers. They move to 2-1 in ACC play, and it's another double-digit victory on the road in conference play for the Cuse. Giovanni Heater alongside Samantha Croston with you right here on CuseSportsTalk.com and ESPN Syracuse. Thanks so much for choosing to hang out with us on your Saturday afternoon. Phone lines are open if you want to chime in and chat, get in on the conversation. 315-437-7644. Always the number to call. That is for ESPN 44 as we break down Syracuse's 83-72 win over Pittsburgh from the Peterson Event Center. Sam, another nice win for the Cuse on the road. Look at that. That's 2 in a row.
Yeah, it makes you feel good. I think this is exactly what we talked about in the pregame. Wanting in some regard. It is an 11-point win. Donnie Freeman played great again, 22 points. J.J. Starling had a great game too, 19 points. You called them a quiet 19 points. I actually thought that was a pretty good description. Everybody did what they were supposed to do. I felt like the team knew their roles, which is something we also discussed in the pregame show. This was a good quality win on the road, and it makes you feel better about the games that are coming up.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And you have to feel like if you're a Syracuse fan, okay, now you're starting to seriously take some steps in the right direction, right? Back-to-back road wins in the ACC. It's worth noting this is quite, you don't want to say inferior competition, but lower caliber competition in the grand scheme of the Atlantic Coast Conference. But we mentioned it coming into this thing. These are the ones that you have to win, Sam.
And now, coming up, right? Florida State, Boston College. This is a good time for Syracuse to gain momentum here, to gain some traction, to work out any issues that they might have remaining before there is tougher competition. And in a way, you feel grateful that they are going to have a few of those opportunities before the competition gets tougher. But I like, overall, what I saw today.
Yeah, I said right from the beginning of the season, before the ball was even tipped on the first game of the year, right, in the Dome when Syracuse hosted Binghamton, I said it just felt like once ACC play came, there was a runway to have some serious success and momentum built. It was after the Clemson game when you looked at it, even in the preseason, the Pittsburgh, the Georgia Tech, the Boston College, the Florida State, and then you get into Virginia Tech and Miami. Like the first huge game doesn't really pop on the radar till Miami or NC State. So it really does feel like the opportunities in front of this team to start stacking some wins here. And they look different with Donnie Freeman in the mix. I mean, look at 22 points, had 27 points last outing. He's no joke, man. He's a really, really good basketball player.
Oh, my God. He is so exciting to watch. He was obviously also shooting the 3-ball well today. And on top of it, I will say from a team standpoint, wanted to give a little credit where I think it's due. There was a time there in the second half where it got a little bit sketchy again for Syracuse.
Yeah.
It felt like it could turn into, I hate to say it, a dip, but it didn't. They did a good job stopping it. They were able to capitalize. They were able to work it out in some way, shape, or form. And you didn't actually feel all that nervous. It didn't feel like, oh no, we're going down a slippery slope here. It felt like Syracuse had the reins. They had control throughout this game.
Yeah, I'm with you. Let's go to our phone lines. Again, they're open if you want to chime in and talk. 315-437-7644, as always, the number to call. And we got our main man, Pat, on the line. Pat, how are we feeling after the 11-point dub on the road?
I almost think this team has two identities, right? I mean, when you look at that run that we went on in the first half, first of all, shout out to William Kyle, because I need to say that first, because earlier last week I had spoke to this endpoint and was being misrepresented, unfortunately, a little bit on my take on William Kyle. So let me be a little bit more clear. William Kyle is one of the best players on this team.
Agreed.
But if and when the offense is struggling, and depending on who you're playing and what style game you're playing, you could absolutely he needs to play 25, 30 minutes. at least. I'm not saying anything different than that. But it's those minutes that he's not in the game that I'm interested in. I'm not a fan of Suarez at all. He had one or two good plays.
I was going to say, he had a nice block today.
Yeah, but, I mean, I don't know. To me, there's other guys that can do more. And what I'm realizing about this team, and you guys hit it on the head to open the show, is we almost have a whole different identity with Freeman. And here's why. Because Freeman is shooting the ball better than I expected him coming back, it really changes. Because before Freeman, okay, you had Sadiq at the 4, who really wasn't shooting it well, and you always needed Kyle because you didn't have a rebounder.
Right.
So you were really limited shooting with those two starting, and then also JJ wasn't shooting it well, and George wasn't shooting it well, and Kings has been hot and cold, and so is Anthony. So it was all a mess. But now, if Freeman is hitting it from either the 4 or the 5, you are starting out with a good shooting team. And then if you sprinkle in, Betsy, and you can sprinkle in that extra shooter, Kings with Anthony, or, if and when JJ's shooting it well, you have another shooter on the floor. And that's what the announcers were speaking about all game. Spreading the floor, keeping the floor spread, making it easier for JJ to do a stupid runner off the wrong foot and the wrong hand and all that, whatever. But the whole point is it changes the whole identity of this team. I did like, and I hit this on pregame, that they're not pushing the ball enough. I thought they were today. And that's my second takeaway. So I got 3 quick takeaways, and then I'll listen to your response. So my first takeaway is what lineups are going to be in there with and without Kyle. I think it's interesting. The second takeaway is these stupid turnovers, because we would have won by 20 plus if we didn't give them 8 to 10 points in live ball turnovers that led to threes. That was a game changer. If you're playing a good team, you lose that game because of those stupid turnovers.
Yep.
Because you were dominating them on offense and defense, but because you're careless as can be with the ball, J.J. Starling Sr., by the way, and also our point guard, who I still don't get that. So that's my biggest concern is you have had games where you're turning it over 5 times or less, and then you have games where you want to turn it over 5 times in a row. I know we turned it over 4 times in a row. So that's my biggest takeaway. I'll be curious to see how this progresses. My last takeaway is I think you guys are drawing too many lines into this conference. It's really not that many tiers, right? You obviously have your tournament teams and then your non-tournament teams, but look at BC going to Louisville and giving them all they can handle. So to me,
Sure.
Just win the games, whether it's Louisville, Boston College, or whoever, and start stacking some wins. That's all I got, Gio.
You're the man, Pat. We appreciate you as always. And no, I like the takes. I do think the team's turning it over too much. Had 11 turnovers today. It's something that you'd like to continue to see cleaned up. I think that they did a nice job pushing it. I actually, Sam, I wish, and the broadcasters were talking about it during the show or the game as well, I wish they kind of kept their foot on the gas and kept pushing it. They almost eased off in the second half, and I get you want to run some clock and what have you, but if you just keep scoring, they're not gonna stand a shot anyways, right? There were a couple times where they elected to slow it down in that second half. Probably the last, after the under 12, I'd say, they started to slow it down instead of really pushing. I almost wish they kept their foot on the gas and kept that up-tempo pace going like they did throughout the first half, but I understand the philosophy of trying to kill some clock as well.
And I know what you mean, because I sort of feel a little bit perplexed right now. I'm sort of torn because based on, Pat saying it, he's making a good point. There were too many turnovers, and sometimes it does feel like a wasted possession, but a part of me feels like that happens because they push the pace, and I think that's a good thing. Because what's the solution there? Slow it down? I wouldn't do that. You mentioned it. The broadcasters mentioned it. This Syracuse team is a great team when they are pushing the pace, so I guess it's a matter of just being a little bit less careless. But I also do agree with Pat where he talks about the conference tiers. Pat, if you are still listening, I hope you are. I know that last Saturday you said that you're just going to take it game by game. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think in the ACC, to Pat's point, probably more parity than you might think. And there are a lot of teams that at any given moment, on any given day, can bring their best. So I like that idea of just slowing it down, taking it game by game, see where you end up 3-4 games from now.
Yeah, I mean, there's a plethora amount of examples to kind of solidify Pat's point. Look at Georgia Tech, who Syracuse just beat by 10 on the road on Tuesday. They gave Duke all it could handle at Cameron Indoor on New Year's Eve, right? Led that game at halftime. Really, you could make an argument that should have won the game. Shot 53% from the floor in that game and still ended up losing to the Blue Devils, mostly in part to the offensive rebounds and second chance points that Duke had. So, yeah, I mean, anybody can get beat on any given night. So I'm with you there, Pat. Let's take a break. I know we got Jordan on the phone. Jordan, pause with us during the break. We will come back. We got to run a tight ship just because we got Syracuse Crunch coming up on ESPN Syracuse at the top of the hour. So plenty more to get to. Syracuse with a nice 11-point win over Pittsburgh on the road. We'll continue to break it down after this on ESPN Syracuse and QSportsTalk.com. What's up, chat? What's up, Mike?
Hi, Mike.
Mike's the man. We'll go to Jordan when we come back.
Okay.
Yeah, Mike, call in, bro. Is Paulie knows zero? Is that Paulie or no? Oh, only one break? Oh, sick. I thought I had to get 4 in. Okay, lit. Oh, okay.
I mean, if there are more callers, you could probably spare like a minute or two. We could figure it out. But
So, just take a break at 4:40.
4:40, 30.
Gotcha. And then we just get out of the studio and we're good? All right, so we have until... So, okay, we'll have like 15 minutes, roughly.
I'm gonna try to get Austria for 30. I'm sure he'll have spoken.
Okay. Sounds good. Sure. Sounds good. Appreciate you.
I'm good.
I think we're good. Yeah. $440.20. I got you. Thanks, Goat. $440.20.
So he's saying at 4:40:20 off Cue Sports Talk, off everything.
Yeah. We'll be done. Yeah.
So we'll go to Jordan and then just continue to break down.
Chat. And
Okay.
I'm hoping Mike McAllister, call in.
Yeah, come on, Mike.
Come on, Mike.
Let's go, Mike.
We want Mike. We want Mike. He said, "Oh, maybe I will. I drive to Brooklyn Pickle." Let's go. Yo, that sounds good, Brooklyn Pickle. Appreciate you spatching the wheeze.
Shout out to Jordan for holding.
For real.
I appreciate
I
that.
know, for real.
Patience from Jordan tonight.
For real. Got 1 minute.
All right.
Yo, I should do an Enter Sandman bump back at some point.
interest rates are down, prices are down, it's pretty much the perfect time for you, the consumer, to buy. You're in the driver's seat this month. The factory is scrambling to move inventory, so don't miss this huge opportunity that comes around every January. Leftover 2025s and the all-new 26 models are here. It's a great time to buy with huge rebates and 0% financing on select models. It's absolutely the time to buy us in New York. I'm inviting everyone to come out and see our beautiful facilities in Oneida and Rome. With all the vehicle makes and models in one convenient location, it makes shopping easy, fun, and affordable. We have Ford, Toyota, Chevy, Buick, GMC, VW, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. I mean, we pretty much have it all to fit just about anyone's budget. New, cool, we've got you covered. You see why? It's got to be nice before you buy it.
Post-game coverage rolls on here. Downtown Syracuse. The Orange on the road, though. Come away with an 83-72 win over Pittsburgh to move to 2-1 in ACC play. Giovanni Heater alongside Samantha Croston with you right here on QSportsTalk.com and ESPN Syracuse. Back-to-back double-digit road dubs for the Cuse over Georgia Tech and now Pittsburgh. Syracuse looking pretty good with Donnie Freeman back in the mix. Let's go right back to the phone lines, though, Sam. Our man Jordan in New York has been waiting very, very patiently. Jordan, we appreciate your patience. How you doing, my man? Thanks for holding throughout the break, and what do you think about the win?
How you doing, Gio? Good to talk to you again. I called after the Hofstra game. I was the high school basketball player.
Yes, sir.
And nice to meet you, Sam.
Nice to meet you, too.
Good win. I mean, last time I said Donnie wasn't going to fix everything. Donnie's a beast.
Yeah, I know it. He did fix everything.
It was a great win, and I don't love what Pat said. I love Flore.
Okay, say more.
I think he gives just a great energy burst to the bench. I think he hustles for every ball. I think he tries to box out, close out. And I just think when Kyle's tired, Kyle's in foul trouble. I think he's really good bench replacement for a few minutes here and there. But I also want to talk about Betsy. Just coming in, spot-up shooter. I think you can use Betsy more in some of those Kings scenarios where they try to get Kings open in the corner or on an inbound play. Betsy, I really think, can be used there for more threes, as he went 3 for 4, and he didn't take any other shots.
Yeah.
I think he needs to put up more shots.
Yeah, when you're shooting it at 75%, right? Why not let it rip and try and do what you can to find him more shots? I'm with you. What do you think about Donnie going 3 of 6 from beyond the arc? Like, there's been this crowd of Donnie's not an NBA player, right? And I mean, he's silencing that pretty emphatically here. 27 points in his last game, 22 points in this game. And the knock on Donnie was people didn't think he was going to be able to stretch the floor and shoot. And that was a part of his game he wanted to add on to in the offseason. Feels like he's done that. I mean, he's been arguably their best shooter. I know it's only 3 games so far in ACC play, but I mean, he's been lights out from beyond the arc.
He's been, everything we've asked for in a big man. Well, he's not even acting like a big man, but he still had 5 rebounds. He out-rebounded everyone on the team.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing. He can shoot. He can drive. He has a little hook. They should be giving it to him. Donnie, I think, should be shooting 17 to 18 shots a game. He should be giving him to the post every time and a little floater. No one's stopping that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think he's showing that he's a serious NBA talent with his ability to stretch the floor. I mean, he can score from anywhere. He can find a shot anywhere, really.
Anywhere. One last thing I wanted to talk about Nate George.
Okay.
He looks good in some spots, but there's so many times I'm watching, slow down. Why are you going so fast? He goes so fast into traffic, 1-on-3, and there was a time, we had 5 seconds left, and the whole possession, and for those 5 to 6 seconds, he was just trying to give it into Kyle. He saw how much time was left. He has to do something because Kyle's going to take a few seconds, square up and just try to get a float or something. That's not going to take 3 seconds. And George needs to pass it more, and I don't know, he hogs the ball a little too much for my liking.
I would have to say that I agree with that. I mean, end of the day, he's a good player, but he is also averaging 3 turnovers per game. I mean, it's a tough situation, and I think we talk a lot on this show, particularly today, about pushing the pace, but I think you have to and should pick and choose your moments to do that, especially when you're up, especially when you're ahead. So I hear where you're coming from that.
Yeah. A great overall win. Just got to keep it going against FSU. I'm going to the BC game next week. But yeah, let's just keep the train rolling.
You're the man, Jordan. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you on Tuesday.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good night.
You too. That's our guy, Jordan. Let's keep the phone lines going here, Sam. We got Jake in Iowa. Jake, how you doing, my man?
Hey, Gio. Hey, Sam. Good to see you guys. Watching you on YouTube right now. I'll piggyback off the last caller about Tyler Betsy. I've been to a couple games this year. I've seen that guy hit 11 straight threes in warm-ups, just watching him knock him down. Tyler Betsy can't play defense in a wheelchair league. He cannot stop anybody. I know everybody's going to talk about the last 2 games and the big leads that we keep blowing. I've been watching Syracuse basketball since 1987. I was at the airport when they came home after they beat North Carolina to go to the Final Four. That's my earliest memory of Syracuse basketball. There are many, 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 many games in the Boeheim era where we got big leads. Auburn in the NCAA tournament when they won a championship. They get big leads, they blow them. This is not an Adrian Autry invention. This has been something Syracuse basketball does for 40 years. So everybody calm down about that. The point spread was, 2-3, and they won by 11? That's going to make your 10th pound look a lot better.
Yeah.
As for Donnie Freeman, let's just hope he's not Anthony Davis Jr. Keep this going. Keep rolling. Thanks for taking my call.
You're the man, Jake. We appreciate you. I'm with it, Sam. You agree with everything?
I completely agree with everything that he said. And I think, listen, back to the Freeman point, yes, he's able to shoot the 3 ball, but it's just everything that he's been doing. He is a threat from everywhere. That means better driving lanes for the guards because when Donnie's on the court, the defense has to step out more. It's a threat. He's a threat that defenders simply can't ignore. It makes the entire offense better, period.
Yeah, and I hear the take of let's find a way to get Tyler Betsy more shots. The only thing I would argue is they scored 83 points, and they didn't have to get him more shots. Now, he did knock down 3 3-pointers. He went 3 of 4 from beyond the arc, so I hear that. But at the same time, it's like they scored 83 points. There's only so many possessions. You can only create so many shots, especially when guys like Donnie and JJ are cooking the way they are with 22 points and 19 respectively. Keeping it on the phone lines, our man, the myth, the legend, Cuse Sports Talk Zone, Mike McAllister. My friend, how we doing? I hear you're en route to the Brooklyn Pickle. Is that the truth?
I am. This is factual information.
It's sandwich time. I'm jealous.
Yeah. Well, when the wife asks for a tuna fish sandwich from the Brooklyn Pickle, you get in the car and you go. So that's what we're doing.
All right. What is your order? What are you going with?
I'm not sure yet. Usually I get ham and cheese when I go there, but I'll get there, check out the menu, and make my decision at that point.
All right.
I don't have a plan going in.
Sounds good. Sometimes spontaneity is the spice of life, right?
Absolutely.
What'd you think about the ball game?
So a couple things. One, isn't it funny after Donnie Freeman gets through that Clemson game where he kind of shakes off the rust in the first half that basically since then Syracuse's offense has looked significantly better, almost like when you have your best player, your team's better. So that's kind of funny how that works. But I think as much criticism as there is with letting teams back in the game, and I got this a lot on social media too while I was tweeting during the game, that, they're letting teams back in and why can't they, knock teams out and those types of comments. If you're going to criticize that, and I think some of it is fair, then you also have to give them credit for when other teams come back, get momentum, put pressure on you, you are responding and making the plays and keeping them at arm's length and stretch of games. They've done that in back-to-back games where
where they've responded when the other team has made a run. I think that's important. And then yet another game where they shot extremely well from the free throw line, over 80% today. And I think that's 5 of the last 6 games where they've shot the ball really well from the free throw line, steadily improving that percentage for the season. So continuing some positive trends on what were some issues earlier in the season was kind of my main takeaway from that.
I mean, as far as your point about free throws, not to say that it's a non-issue, but my God, I feel like they really were able to improve upon that point in their game. And for a while, you weren't sure whether or not that was going to happen. I think people misunderstand how tough it is to fix an issue like that, to fix, free throw form. Obviously, William Kyle III, J.J. Starling, sort of wonky free throw shooters. So the fact that they're able to figure that out is huge. But also to your point about the fact that they were able to get out of, let's say, a dip, or when the other team is coming back, they're able to find their way out of it. I think in a way that is a differentiation between a good team and a great one is, when your backs are against the wall and you're on the road, you're able to figure it out and you're able to come out of the game with a win. And they were able to do that today. Ditto, Mike.
Yeah, and back to the point that I first made, part of that is also having your best player available so that when you need a big basket, you can put the ball in Donnie Freeman's hands. I mean, how many times did we see Pitt cut the lead from 17 to 11 and then Freeman makes a shot? They cut it from 16 to 9 and Freeman makes a big shot. It happened over and over again. I think we're finally seeing this team pull. Now, they had some defensive lapses. They had some stretches where they were careless with the ball offensively. Not saying they're perfect by any means. Certainly things to work on. But I've been encouraged by what I've seen since he's come back. And I really feel like if he had a game before that Clemson game, that they might have ended up pulling that game out because he wouldn't have had to go through that first half sort of shaking off the rust. That's kind of where I'm at, with all of that. The last thing I'll say is on the free throw shooting, is it me or is that hitch from J.J. Starling gone away? I didn't see it today. He only had a few free throws, but I feel like the last couple of games I haven't seen it, or at least not as pronounced.
Yeah, I agree. I almost feel like his jump shot looks different.
Yeah.
But bizarre.
That shows me they're working on it.
Yeah.
That the coaching staff has identified the issue. They see the same thing that we're seeing, and that they're working pretty hard to fix it. And, the results speak for themselves. They have significantly improved some areas that were weaknesses earlier on in the year.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Mike, we got to let you go because we're pressed up against the Syracuse crunch, but we appreciate you always, my man. You're the best. Let's talk to you on Tuesday.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
That is our guy, Mike McAllister, as always, chiming in here. Sam, your final thoughts before we cut everybody loose here today.
I thought that it was a good win, and I want to go back to that idea that Eric Devendorf gave me, the 3 E's, energy, effort, enthusiasm. I thought they had all 3 today. I thought they did a great job start to finish. Obviously, there are still a couple kinks to work out, but the bottom line is they have momentum now, right? Yeah. They've won a couple games in a row. That is exactly what you wanted, especially on the road, as you head into, quite honestly, 2 other matchups that you should win as well. Yeah, I agree with you. And we said this team probably has to win going into the Georgia Tech game, which was the last one. 5 of its next 6. Now we're looking at 3 of the next 4 because they've just rattled off 2 in a row. So hopefully they can keep it going. Let's play this real quick. We got a little bit of audio for you from head coach Adrian Autry after the win over Pittsburgh, courtesy of Matt Park and the Syracuse Sports Network from Learfield. Here's Coach.
It was a It was a hard-fought game. I thought our guys really locked in at the end of the last 4 or 5 minutes. Defensively, man, they just did the job. And I'm just so proud of these guys, man. These guys are warriors. And we just got to keep getting better. And we still got room for improvement. That's what I'm excited about. But, we got the stops that we needed down the end, so I'm just happy with these guys, all right?
There is the head coach of the Orange, Adrian Autry. For Samantha Croston, my partner to my left, for Jordan Capozzi behind the scenes, I'm Giovanni Heater saying so long and good afternoon from Syracuse. We'll talk to you on Tuesday, getting you ready for Syracuse and Florida State. A late tip, a 9 p.m.er inside the Dome. For Sam, for Jordan, I'm Gio. We'll talk to you then.